Hi and welcome back to the channel. So since the video is coming to you at the end of December, my compliments of the season to everyone. We got a trip planned here. It's going to be a few days. We're going to head down south coast of New South Wales and we're going to go across into Victoria, back up through the Victorian High Country. First stop is going to be Batemans Bay on the south coast. Here we go. Alright, so a little bit of a precarious climb to get in here, but we actually came across this amazing stone archway just along the beach there. We tried accessing from one end, we've tried accessing from the other end, and after a bit of a sketchy climb down, we've managed to get here. So it's absolutely sensational. Incredible that these places exist. So we're almost running out of light because the sun's going to, actually it's right now at 8 o'clock, the sun's set at 8. So if there is going to be any colour in the sky, it's going to happen any time in the next sort of few minutes. So I'm going to race around getting a few shots here. What I've done for this shot here, I don't know if you can see this in the frame, but the river that actually comes under the arch here sort of takes a bit of a U-turn around this rock. So I've tried to sort of feature that U-turn and then obviously the river is sort of leading you in through the arch there as well. There's some amazing rockery in front of it here as well. It's all sort of pointing in the right direction. So I'm going to see if we can get some of that in the shot too. I'm going to start with a landscape shot and then we'll spin the camera and do a bit of a portrait shot as well. But okay, here comes the first shot of the evening. The archway. Here we go, check it out. So that was the landscape shot to begin with. For some reason my brain always starts off thinking landscape, but now that we've got that shot, I've set the shot up with these rocks at the bottom here. They're very craggy and very jagged, so if you ever come to a place like this, please be careful. But they're all pointing right into the arch itself. I've got this little sort of pool in front as well, and I've got a little bit of headroom above the tip of the arch up here as well. We're starting to get a little bit of colour in the sky, so I'm just making sure I can capitalise and try and get every bit of colour out of this as much as possible. And I've done a few different shots with focusing in on the rocks very close here, just in case I need to do a little bit of blending later, and then on the arch itself. So, okay, here comes a landscape shot, let's check it out. So what I've done now is I've actually set the camera up very, very low. You can't even see it in the frame here, but it's actually set down very low. And I'm trying to get some sort of close-up shots of these craggy rocks leading into the frame. I'm still in portrait mode, and it's really giving me that sort of really nice, when you've got a 60mm lens that looks very wide, so when the shot is done in a portrait style, it kind of stretches the edges of the shot. That's what's happening here, and those jagged rocks are all kind of pointing into the arch. So that's what we're trying to do. I think if the tide came up a little bit here, you'd probably get some really nice wash through the arch itself. But if the tide was any higher, I'd be a little bit concerned about getting in and out of this place. So I'm glad it is where it is. We're getting some really nice shots. We're almost out of colour now. So here's the final shot of the day, and let's check this one out. Here we go. Alright, so next morning we noticed conditions were going to be quite favourable, so we raced very early down south to a location called Mossy Point. There was a jetty there that was going to be pointing quite eastward across the river towards the sunrise, so didn't record any video down there. It was way too early in the morning, and I only took literally 2 shots before we raced off to our next location. So here's one of those shots. Alright, so after we got that shot, we realised the jetty was pointing just a little bit too far north, and we had another location in mind. So only 5 minutes away was Gorilla Bay, so we ended up on the beach at Gorilla Bay. And this is when the epic trip turned to a bit of a nightmare, because I actually did quite a lot of recording for you guys here and didn't realise that the microphone was not recording into the camera. So let me just talk quickly through what I'm doing here. I've actually set the camera up with a really good sort of view of these waves breaking over the rocks in front of me. I'm just going to talk through this because some of the shots that came out of this were really quite nice, and it would be unfair not to show you. So same sunrise. This is probably another maybe 15 to 20 minutes after the original shot at the jetty. I've set the camera up here. I don't know the area at all, and I've been watching these waves splashing over the rocks right in front of the camera here. The sun's about to come up right over where the body of the camera is on the tripod. So what I'm doing is watching these waves come in. They're splashing over the rocks like this one just did, and I'm just trying to time it right so we can get a really nice sky, get some splashing over the rocks for some sort of foreground interest. And here's the first shot that came out of that. Here we go. Alright, so after a while I did manage to pluck up some courage and get a little bit closer to this rock shelf. I took quite a variety of shots here. I was looking at, setting the camera up higher on the tripod. I also set the camera up quite low on the tripod. I did like the waves coming over these rocks, just like that one. And with the camera set up low, it sort of really accentuated the foreground interest with that amazing sky that we got out towards the east there. So here's a second shot from this location and the final shot of the day. Here we go. Well, that's it. We are done from the arch. I don't even know what it's called. There must be a name for this because it's quite a unique structure. I'm so glad we found it, and it's an epic start to this trip that we're on right now. As I said earlier, we're heading down the south coast, all the way down New South Wales into Victoria, and then back up through the Victorian High Country. So really looking forward to see what we can find. We've got a few things along the way that we'd like to shoot, but there's just so many opportunities for us to stop and shoot things. So really looking forward to this trip, and what a start. So if you like the shots, don't forget to give it a thumbs up just down here, and do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. It's taken me a very, very long time to hit 2,000 subscribers on the channel, and I really have a goal next year to sort of build that number up to a decent number. So if you're watching the channel and you enjoy the videos, please take time to hit the subscribe button. And what I'm going to do now is put all the shots up with the settings so you can see what the settings were, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.